I'd like to talk about the different stages of awakening and through my own experiences. I classify the first stage when we initially awaken as a stage of intimacy. It's a time that we're getting to know self. We're getting to know something deeper than our mind. We're experiencing life with a little bit more depth. And I think this is a stage that a lot of people are experiencing right now, is this stage of intimacy, waking up to a deeper aspect of themselves. And I think what I didn't realize at the time was that this deeper sense of self in me that I was awakening to was actually the divine within me. He was the presence of God within inside of me. But in this initial stage of awakening, I don't think we're completely aware of that divine essence that's running into us, maybe not on a conscious level. Now, after that initial stage of awakening or intimacy that we begin to have with ourselves, comes the next phase. And I see that as a phase of connection. In my phase of connection, I could see how I was starting to connect more deeply to that initial space that I found within myself, or that initial presence of the silence or stillness within me. And in that connection phase is when we start to feel a deeper sense of connection, not only with ourselves, but we start to feel deeply connected with other people as well. And I think that's a hallmark when you've entered that phase of connection, is when you start to feel connected with other people, or you start to feel a deeper sense of connection in nature. So it's a very expansive experience when we start to move into that connection phase. That initial phase of intimacy is, for me, it was mind-blowing. But then as I moved deeper into that phase of connection, it was a more richer experience that I was having. We start to not maybe look at ourselves as a separate entity so much as a joint or a collective entity. And I think that's one of the most beautiful aspects of going through a phase of connection, is you start to dissolve the small sense of I, the small sense of ego that makes up who you think you really are. Because who we think we are in our mind doesn't make up the reality of who and what we are on a deeper level, on a soul level. It doesn't make up the reality of what we are on a divine level. And then the next stage that I think that we move into, after we have a certain amount of experiences of connectedness with ourselves and others, it brings up this deeper relationship with the divine within. And so the next phase is this phase where we begin to express. We express the connection that we've discovered. We express the intimacy that we initially found. And it starts to come out in our lives through our work, through all the different ways that we interact with people. And for me, the expression phase of my awakening is when I felt this call to write. I felt this call to connect and share my experiences that I had been having for many years. And in this third phase of awakening, I think we're starting to express our divinity. And this certainly happened for me after so many years of doing meditation and going inward to that silent, still place and making that deep connection with myself and with others. I naturally started to begin to express that more freely. I think there's like a billion ways that we can express that divinity that we find within ourselves. And everybody's path and purpose will line up in your favor for you to make your unique expression of the divine within you. Your path and purpose will unfold in such a way that is meant just for you. We have many experiences where we're sharing our divinity before we feel that deep sense of connection. But when I look at the overall picture, I think there is a progression to this experience that I've had, where I've gone through these different phases in my awakening process. I hope this helps explain some of the different things that you may be going through yourself. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.